And now to the massive disruption in the nation's supply chain that's impacting stores across the country. Right now, consumers are finding empty shelves in some cases, some basic items in short supply, and prices going up. Today, President Biden met with shipping companies, mega retailers, and unions to discuss how to unblock supply chain bottlenecks. The discussion comes as crews work around the clock to empty as many freighters as possible, as dozens of container ships sit idle in Southern California's ports. All that pressure leading to higher costs for consumers. Diaper prices, for example, up nearly 9%, clothes up 4.2%, new cars up 7.6%, meat prices up nearly 9%, and eggs up nearly 10% from the price of a year ago. Tonight, 7 Action News reporter Darren Cunningham goes in depth on why experts say it's happening and how far-reaching the ripple effect goes.
Consumer goods coming from overseas and or from one coast to another. You may have noticed by the time it gets to you, it's a little costlier than it was pre-pandemic.
On a consumer level, the prices for the same products are going up and up. I've checked some of the sizes, some have gone down, but the tagging is not good. There's a lot of empty slots and they're mixing things up, especially at the grocery stores.
Usually the things that I'm looking for are there. I haven't noticed my grocery bills any higher. I spend about the same amount I always have with me and my husband, so.
I went to go get a salad and I couldn't get a salad because the produce, they didn't want to buy produce anymore because the cost of produce was high.
Personal spending experiences vary, but the impact of the pandemic on the global supply chain has led to shifts in supply and demand, according to Willie Shee, a professor at Harvard University's Business School. He tells me a surge in demand happened earlier in the year after the U.S. reopened.
And with that demand surge, it has taxed the ability of a lot of logistics providers, people who provide ocean container freight, or people who unload it at the terminals, or people who move it on intermodal rail from one of the coasts to the Midwest.
A domino effect. The Association of American Railroads shared this infographic with 7 Action News, illustrating the problem along the supply chain. Speaking to the demand surge, LUISA FERNANDEZ-WILLEY, Assistant Vice President of Policy and Economics for the Railroad Association, says from January to August, railroads saw the largest movement of containers with consumer goods ever moved in history.
This is definitely unprecedented. And, the railroads have continued moving all these containers at these tremendous volumes, despite, all these, congestion around all these different points of the supply chain.
She says to keep up and work through the congestion, railroads are hiring workers and finding additional warehouse capacity to offload containers, so those items can make their way to manufacturing facilities, businesses, and ultimately consumers.
We're just part of the solution, and we all have to continue working together with all our different partners.
Darren Cunningham, 7 Action News.
And for a closer look at how these supply chain shortages are impacting local stores, head to our website, WXYZ.com.